Welcome to Future Foodcast. I'm Pamela Miller, your host. I want to thank our sponsor, Farm to Plate. They are creating tomorrow's food business ecosystem today. You can find out more at farmtoplate.io. I'm excited to bring you somebody from the other side of the world today. We have Monica Mireles Serrano. She is the head of sustainability, market, and engagement for Zespri. Welcome to the podcast, Monica.
Thanks, Pam. Nice to be here with you.
Yes, I'm so glad to have you with us. Why don't you tell us where you are and a little bit about Zespri?
We are really excited to be here. Zespri is the largest marketeer of Kiwifruit. We do this on behalf of our growers. We have around 2,800 growers here in New Zealand and another 1,500 around the world. Kiwifruit is still small in the global fruit bowl, but we like to think that we punch above our weight. And that's traditional for a business that is headquartered in New Zealand. So last year, our revenue was around 4 billion, and we market our fruit and sell around 50 countries around the globe.
Yes, I know Zespri. I love your kiwi fruit. As a matter of fact, I have a little tool still in my drawer that was being given away at the grocery store years ago, a little plastic spoon knife combination that I still use when I buy my kiwi today. So I think that was a great marketing tool as you think about the future. I would love to see that come back into the market so that I might be able to get some more. Tell us about what you do with sustainability, because it's really a big focus there at Zespri.
Sustainability is embedded in our purpose. Our purpose is to help people, communities, and the environment to thrive through the goodness of kiwi fruit. And there it is. So thriving in a more sustainable and better future. So we want to do sustainability through our business strategy and bring value to our growers and our communities while we do this.
Wow. That is so exciting. Well, first of all, you have number one. I mean, you've got a great fruit that people want to consume. And I know that sustainability wise, you're trying to find the best ways to grow that with the least impact on the environment, right?
That's right. Being a good and health product for people is not good enough. Our kiwi fruit is a sustainable nutrition powerhouse. It has more vitamin C than oranges. It has more potassium than bananas, and it's high in fibers.
Well,
This
wait,
is not
hold on.
enough.
I didn't know all that. More vitamin C than oranges, more potassium than bananas. And what was the
And
third one?
It's high in fiber.
And high in fiber. Okay, I like it even more now. Thanks, Monica.
So according to a survey from the International Floral Produce, we know that 9 of 10 people agree that fresh fruit and vegetables contribute to a healthy diet. However, only 1 in 10 do the recommended 5 intakes of fruit and vegetables a day.
Yes, that's a really sad statistic, which if people would start to do what they know is better for them, they'd be healthier, and also the kiwi fruit business would probably grow seemingly with all the health benefits that you pack into that little. I like your punching above our weight analogy. I think it's true. It's a little fruit to have all that capability. That's really great. It's kind of fun.
Yes. So we know that we have these paradoxes in the world. It's about people not doing the right choices when it comes to healthy eatings, but it's also about how our growers are not getting the benefits that they should be having for creating this amazing food. So we have obesity, we have unfair repartition of wealth in the communities, we have the overpackaging. We know that we need to preserve these products all the way to our consumer, but we know that there is a lot of waste being produced, and these end up in landfills or in oceans. So that's why we are trying to work with these paradoxes to see how can we contribute and to address each of these paradoxes. So our sustainability strategy has 3 elements. So the first one is health. So that's how we work with our consumers to help create these healthy choices. The second one is the environment. So focusing on climate change and packaging and water for our New Zealand growers. And then the third one is our communities. It is how we work with our growers to bring them the benefits of this economic value, but also long-term growth.
Yeah, very nice. There's a big focus right now on growers and farmers in general to help them because we need them to keep growing and being farmers. And I think it gets sometimes harder and harder. And a lot of times, education wise, they don't know what to do. So I'm sure Zespri really helps in that area to help give them some maybe analytics or information to help them do better.
Yeah, the way we are set up in New Zealand makes us really close to our growers. We have been doing this for many years. And what Zespri does is help them with innovation. So our company is cimented on innovation. So you might not remember, and actually I was not here, but in the 90s, the New Zealand growers had a very big, difficult years with a pest that came from overseas and almost wiped out the whole industry. So that was a time where there was only green kiwi fruit, and most likely growers will have ended up devastated because the pests had really damaged all the orchards. So Zespri was undertaking this research for a new crop that was more resistant to this PSA disease. And then we had to accelerate this process to be able to commercialize that fruit and to put it back in the growers. So then Kiwifruit Gold, that was the one that saved the industry from total collapse and now is the most preferred kiwi fruit amongst consumers according to our sales. And so this innovation that we keep going, this innovation is what has allowed us to have built some trust with our growers, but we work hand in hand to do this research, to implement the research. We do many trials. For example, now we are very excited to be trialing our carbon neutral kiwi fruit. So that will be the first kiwi fruit that will be really try to reduce and mitigate emissions from orchards to consumer.
I had no idea that now the Kiwi Gold was more popular than the green, and it's more resistant to the pests. And you have two little, I want to call them Kiwi people. I don't, what do you call them?
We call them Kiwi brothers.
Kiwi brothers. Okay. You have the Kiwi brothers over your shoulder. Thank you for having that background up so we could. Those of you that are watching us on YouTube, you will see Monica's background is very well done. It's a big artistic display. And the Kiwi brothers are over one of her shoulders. So that's exciting. It'll make you want to watch future Foodcast on YouTube. Well, that Kiwi Gold, I mean, that really then helped the farmers to make it moving forward, because then they have a more sustainable fruit as far as a little bit more resistant to maybe some of the environmental things that might be going on, pesticides, or I don't know if other things, if it's if it resists other things.
Correct. And this was correct. This was not one in a lifetime innovation. So we continue to innovation. We have a breeding center, and the new varieties that we are trialing, they focus a lot, obviously, on getting better yields, trying to produce in reduced space, but more importantly, try to be more resistant to climate change. We know that changes in climate will continue. We know that we are more at risk of droughts and severe storms. So these new crops that we are trialing, hopefully, will address some of these challenges that we are facing.
That's exciting to know that there is so much research happening at Zespri, really to try to be very forward thinking about how to navigate through the future. I mean, thank you for sharing that with us. That's really exciting. Now, you mentioned that you're working on a carbon neutral kiwi fruit. Is that just with the fruit, or is that like how you get the fruit to, because you're exporting the majority, you said 50 countries. So you have a lot of transport happening. Is that where some of the carbon situation is being neutralized?
That's right. So one of our biggest challenges is shipping. So around 43% of our emissions come from shipping, which is huge. And we know that we need to change the system. And we have been partnering with some of our shipping providers to try to find a mechanism to reduce these emissions. We are working to try to set up what we call a green corridor, which is basically trying a new vessel that will have alternative fuels, that will dock in a port which have facilities with alternative energy. The whole chain should be reduced in emissions, making the cut from our whole transport system. So this is obviously not something that it will work overnight and that we cannot do alone. And that's why we are trying to increase the level of partnerships that we have, and the reason we launched last year our SAG fund program.
Well, okay, let's talk about that. What is the SAG fund program? What does SAG stand for?
SAG, it actually is not an acronym.
not.
It's actually a way of life, as we call it. SAG comes from zigzag, and it's because we think that progress is not linear. We sometimes need some exponential change. And so that's what we call our fund SAG, is the Zespri Innovation Fund. And we are committing $2 million annually to partner with innovators and with visionaries to really help address the main challenges that the kiwi fruit industry has. The fund is set up in a way that has 4 different areas that we are looking for solutions. So the first area is actually the kiwi fruit. So this is everything that deals with agri-tech, future yields, artificial intelligence, many things that you may find on orchard. The second pillar is about the environment. So everything that helps us reduce our emissions, new technologies for packaging, new technologies to reduce the use of water. And then we have the area that it's about health. So it's coming back to this, how do we entice consumer to make the right choices? Any apps or products or systems that really will shift the dial on how people behave when they do their shopping. And the fourth area is our communities, and it's about getting growers together and sharing the learnings. We know that our growers are doing a lot, but how do we share best practices, and how do we learn from other industries that might be also doing some new techniques that are good for both people and the environment?
That's almost like masterminding best practices and sharing the best results you're getting, so that everyone can benefit. I call it like there's that analogy of, a rising tide raises all ships. So if you can get the tide to go up for one, you're going to be bringing everybody else with you. If you can find some solutions, everybody's wanting to share. I think that's really important in the food industry moving forward, is to help each other try to find some answers to these situations that we have. Like you said, you have these opposing things that you're trying to find solutions for when they're opposite of each other. So that's very exciting. That's a big investment. Now, is all that money coming from Zespri? Can people donate to the ZAG Innovation Fund? How is that funded?
At the moment, is coming from Zespri. We are only looking at improvements in the kiwi fruit industry. However, we know that there are other companies and other industry doing different things. So it is a channel to keep us open to dialogue. We had the opportunity to go to the COP last year in December, and we found a big number of people that want to do things like us, that they are interested in the same challenges. So nutrition played a big part, and agriculture as well. It's our way to say we are open for business. Please come and help us address the bigger challenges, because where we are looking is not a small improvement in our orchard. It's really about system change. It is about the bigger picture.
Yeah, I like you're talking about the ZAG fund. It's like the zigzag. You're not just looking for a linear progression, kind of going to the next step. You're looking at a major change. And I think that's a great way to visualize it. I didn't realize what that meant before. So thanks for explaining that. But out of those 4 things that you're working on with the Innovation Fund, honestly, changing how we approach our eating habits. We habit is the good word. We get into the habit of the way we eat and what we eat, and it's hard to get us to change. What thoughts do you have around, working with your communities, your consumers, and getting engagement from them and trying to get them to think about changing their habits and eating healthier? Any nifty ideas that you'd like to share with our audience? I'm sure they're open.
Yeah, so when we think about habit, if you think about how we are raised, so we brush our teeth every day because when we are little, we are taught that we have to brush your teeth morning and evening at least for 2 minutes. So then it becomes habit. So we kind of started looking at that. If crucial years of childhood is when habits are shaped, then we should be looking at children to create these habits. And so our wonderful colleague in the marketing team have put their efforts together to launch a global campaign that is focusing on children between the age of 5 and 8 to do this behavior change. So it's going to we call it our cause campaign. So it's going to be done in all our markets, and it's about finding these programs for children to add or swap one fruit or vegetable a day. We have actually done our own research. So we pilot this project internally at Zespri. So everybody had their little card, and we had this challenge. For 30 days, we needed to add or swap one meal, one fruit and vegetables. And it became really interesting with a lot of engagement. And we just needed to try it, right? Before we actually launched it in the market, we just tested with Presby people. And it was a big success. So our colleagues in the markets are very busy now crafting their own programs and working with schools. Working with schools and medicals, the medical sector is not new. It's something that Zespri has done over the year, but we are trying really to concentrate this in a bigger campaign, and again with a kind of purpose focus on children and their habits in the formative years, so they can then become more conscious adults.
That's a great idea, but I don't want to think that some of us are a lost cause and that we're beyond changing. Certainly we can change, but if we see our children or our grandchildren making the change, oftentimes then the adults change because the kids are pushing the agenda. So that'll be really fun. I look forward to following up and finding out what's going on with that initiative. What a great idea. I'm sure you and your colleagues had a great time just piloting that program amongst yourselves and sharing, what your challenges and successes were with it.
Yeah, exactly. We have also some people teasing in the office with a donut and an apple or something else. So it was really actually quite fun to try
So
this project internally.
They were tempting each other with bad choices. That's funny. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the Innovation Fund? You've given us quite a bit of information about that.
Well, we really just leave it open for everybody who's interested to come and look at the website. To enter the submission is very easy. We just need like a name, an organization, and just a vague, well, not a vague, but an idea, a description of the project, what are the areas that they will be wanting to address. And then our team will follow up if there's a big interest. And the turnaround is quite quickly. So we have around 6 weeks to get a response, and we are ready to start piloting the first projects now, I think later in a couple of months.
Okay, so you're taking ideas for projects at
yes,
your
correct.
website. Oh, fabulous. We'll be sure to have a link to that in our show notes so that those who are listening to us, you can check the show notes, or if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have the link in the information there. Can you tell us what the link is? Do you have that off the top of your head so you might be able to verbally tell our audience what that is?
Yes, that is zespri.com/SAGFund.
Great. Thank you so much. I think that'll be really fun. And again, we'll have that in the show notes. Well, we've talked a lot about Zespri. You have so many things going on there. Is there anything that we missed or anything else that you would like to share with our audience before we go, Monica?
Just to tell you, we are gearing up to the start of the New Zealand season. We are very exciting. It looks as one of the biggest we ever had. So just go to your supermarkets, try our fruit, tell us what you think, and make the right health choice.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being on the show with us. It was fun to find out all about kiwi fruit. It is one of my favorite fruits. And for our listeners, I don't know that might care how there's different ways to eat a kiwi fruit. I love to cut it in half and then actually scoop it out and eat it that way. I know some people slice it, and however you eat it, it's a really healthy fruit. So I hope you enjoy it. If you enjoyed this interview with Monica and want to hear more like her, please comment and let us know what kind of topics you would like, what kind of companies you would like. We're always open to new guests and talking about innovation and sustainability and what's going on out there in the food industry. Until next time, I'm Pam Linemiller.
Thanks for listening to Future Foodcast. Future Foodcast is powered by Farm to Plate, the leading food blockchain platform. Subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts to stay up to date with the very latest innovations in the food industry.